Hey WILDR folks, we're back in the gym this week and I'm gonna give you my top 6 core movements that translate to better skiing. Now, I've got a bit of a hot take when it comes to skiing. I don't think that your feet are your base when you're out at the ski hill. I actually think it's your core. If you're able to keep your torso stable and control your center of mass, then it doesn't matter what wild things are happening under your feet, you're gonna feel and be in control when you're skiing. Strengthening these muscles that stabilize your torso is actually a huge focus of our 8-week pre-ski dumbbell program. And if you wanna know more about that, check the link in the description below. But for today, we're gonna break our exercises into 3 sections: whole body movements, plyometrics, and then exercises that are targeting specific muscles. So let's get right into it and start with our whole body movements. Our first exercise is a 90-90 kneel up. Now, before you do this one, make sure that you don't have any knee discomfort when you're sitting in this position. We ideally want our knee joint to be between 45 degrees and 90 degrees here, but your individual flexibility and mobility is gonna dictate where that is. From this position, we're gonna tighten our core slightly, lean forward, and then push to come up into a kneeling position. If you have knee pain, don't do this one, and work individually on improving that external rotation of the femur before you get into this position. Then when you're in this position, you can block up your butt so that you're not going quite as low. I like to combine these with a knee flip, so I'm gonna start here, do 1 rep, flip the feet over, flip the knees over the feet, and then do this pointing the other direction. You're gonna feel your core turning on here. You're also going to feel stability in your torso while your legs are doing something underneath you. Our second movement is a front lever Cossack squat. Now, I had a client just yesterday call these humble squats because they are a lot harder than they look. What you wanna do is hold a weight out straight in front of you. This is gonna be a little demanding on the shoulder as well, but you're really gonna feel the core working. And you're gonna sink your hips to one side and then back to the middle. To start, you only need the first tiniest bit of your Cossack squat. Start small, and then as you get better and better, you can go to a deeper depth with those Cossack squats. Now, if this is too difficult for you, like if you start to do these and you notice either that you're hinging forward instead of going down, or that your back rounds to get that Cossack squat position, then break this one up. You can hold the weight here. That counterweight is actually gonna make the Cossack squat easier. And then individually, you can hold this Pallof press type position with your dumbbell. Make sure you notice those core muscles working, and again, tall through the torso for this exercise. Our third exercise is within our second category, and that is plyometrics. Now, how are plyometrics a core workout? Well, we are talking about core as in your ability to keep your torso stable while things are happening under your feet. We're not explicitly talking about a six-pack. And so plyometrics are great because they mimic that dynamic nature of skiing while helping you coordinate your movements to stabilize your trunk. We are gonna start basic like we do with any exercise and just learn our mechanics of jumping first. Now, I've got a whole video on plyometrics for skiing. In fact, I think I have 2 videos on plyometrics for skiing, so you can check those out in more detail. The next 30 seconds is going to be a brief overview of that information. Now, to start plyometrics, we always want to start with jump mechanics. So just in a simple squat position, you are going to sink down and then press up and work on a solid jump where we're squeezing our butt, our core pushing through our toes to get into that top position. Once we are confident with that, we can add a jump landing, absorbing our landing and trying to be as quiet as possible. Now, once we work on that for a couple of weeks, we can up the intensity by adding multiple jumps. Remember, tendons take longer to adapt than muscles. And in this instance, even though we're working on core stability, we're still putting our tendons under more pressure. For that reason, you need to be exceptionally careful to build up slow with these. Awesome examples of plyometrics that are extremely specific to skiing are the classic skater jump, where we're starting on one leg, we're jumping and then landing again on that same leg. We can also up this to 3 or 4 of these. And I always love the balance component of sticking the landing. That's where I feel my core firing the most. Now, after you've progressed for a while here, you can start jumping off of things. Remember, never jump off of something you can't jump onto. So for instance, we can get a bench. And first things first, I want to make sure I can jump onto it. That feels safe, so then I'm cleared to jump off of it. Now when we're jumping off of things, we want to make sure that we're tightening our core and bending all of our joints to absorb. So I'm going to jump off of the bench, I'm going to jump high, and then I'm going to stick the landing. Awesome. So watch the other video if you're interested in that, but plyometrics are a great way to add fun to the gym, to increase your ligaments, strength, your bone density, and they also help you learn to activate your core in dynamic situations, aka skiing. And that brings us to our final section. These movements are more about targeting specific core muscles to build strength and stability in them. And the first one we're going to talk about is a runner's hollow body hold. For the runner's hollow body hold, we are isometrically stabilizing our core while we're moving our legs. We'd rather do this one well for a very short period of time than not do it properly for a longer period of time. Now, I have a nice little hack for making sure you are doing it properly, and it involves a band or a string or a rope or a sweater, anything that you can pull under your low back. So in order to find where to put it, we are going to arch our back excessively and find the middle of the arch. Then we are going to tilt the pelvis backwards, kind of like we're tucking our tail, to pin that rope or band to the ground. You can do this yourself or have a friend pull on it if you want to. From that position, we are then going to pick up our legs, maintain that pull through the core, and we're going to go one leg out and back in, other leg out and back in. Now, if I lose my low back position, then the string or rope or sweatshirt will come out. The thinner the item, the harder this is. But as we get better at it, we can progress to more time under tension. And we can also try and send our feet out at a steeper angle from our body. For some people, even just getting set up is going to be difficult. So if that's where you're at, just remember, be consistent with your training, and pretty soon you'll be doing the harder versions of the exercise. Now, we got to change the camera angle slightly for this last one, so hold on for a second. This last exercise is called a wall lean leg lift. And what you're gonna do is pop your forearm or your hand against the wall. You're gonna get into a mid-turn ski position. So my hips point forward, but I'm pushing through my outside foot and sinking my hips slightly towards the wall. From this position, I wanna turn on my core muscles and then lift that lower leg towards my knee or kind of underneath my hip. You're gonna find that isometrically this works the core. You'll find if you're doing it for 30 or 45 seconds, you start to really feel your core working. Now, it does require, kind of show you from the side, a little bit of a lean when you're doing this. If you're too upright, you won't feel it. In addition, if you sink your hips too far in, you won't feel it either. So, my hips are like headlights. I'm pointing them straight, parallel with the wall. I'm lifting that inside foot, and I'm getting used to this position while pushing through that outside foot. I love this one, and I found that it's super helpful when skiers are wanting to feel more confident getting into a deeper carving position. So those are my 6 favorite core movements that translate to skiing. I would love if you incorporated them into some of your workouts. And if you're looking for more help, then check out that link to our 8-week pre-ski dumbbell program. If you enjoyed this video today, hit that like button. That helps me a lot. And I hope you have a wilder week. We'll talk to you guys soon.